When storms come running, setting a small-town park in rural Georgia, present-day 13-year-old Malik Bryant loved Saturdays. It was his escape from school, from math homework, from the pressure of being the only one in so many of his classes. At Crestwood Middle School, being the only black kid wasn't just isolating, it was exhausting. Still, Saturdays meant the park. The old basketball court, the cracked concrete, the rusted rim, none of that mattered. That court had soul. Malik dribbled his ball with focus. Sweat clung to his brow under the midday sun. He wore a red Atlanta Hawks jersey, Trae Young's number. He wasn't the tallest or strongest, but he played with a smooth rhythm, gliding through imaginary defenders. That's when he heard them, three boys, about his age or maybe a year older, stood by the bleachers, snickering. Malik had seen them at school before. Football kids. White. Loud. The kind who thought sarcasm was a personality. He didn't know their names, but their types were familiar. One of them, a lanky boy with freckles and a snapback hat, called out, "Yo, Air Malik, where's your scholarship to the NBA? You hoopin' for fried chicken today." The others laughed like hyenas. Malik paused, holding the ball. His stomach tightened. He'd been here before, these encounters that start with jokes and end in something sour. He tried to ignore them and went back to shooting. Another boy chimed in, mocking his form. "Yo, bet his daddy taught him to shoot like that." And sharper Malik bit his lip and kept playing. He wasn't going to give them the satisfaction, but they didn't stop. One started walking onto the court, still smiling, still taunting. "Come on, bro. We just messin' with you. You act like we're the Klan or something." The third one, heavier than the others, mumbled something Malik couldn't quite hear, but the word cotton was unmistakable. And then Malik dropped the ball, not in anger, not in fear, but in silence. Because he saw her, his sister, Sierra, had just parked her navy blue Hyundai by the lot. She stepped out, slowly closing her car door. Tall, poised, dressed in a black law school hoodie and jeans, she looked like a storm disguised as a woman. Her hair was braided back in a neat ponytail, and she walked with a calm that only came from knowing your power. The three boys followed Malik's gaze, and turned. The silence between them was instant and total. Sierra walked across the grass like it was a courtroom. Her eyes never left the boys, and the closer she got, the more their posture shifted from smug to scared. The lanky one stepped back first. The heavier one followed, muttering something under his breath. "Yo, let's bounce," one whispered, and they ran, not because she yelled, not because she threatened, but because they saw her. She reached Malik, knelt to pick up his basketball, and handed it to him. "You okay?" she asked. Voice calm, but steel-edged, he nodded, quietly. They were just being dumb. She looked at him, the way only an older sister can, a mix of pride and pain. "Oh, you know, dumb is often dangerous," she said. "You can't always walk away. But you also don't always have to fight alone." Malik nodded again. She stood, turned toward where the boys had run, and shouted, not angrily, but with the crisp tone of someone who would be heard, "Tell your parents what you said, or I will." Even the birds paused. For a second later that night, the school principal got a call. So did two of the boys' parents. The next week, Sierra filed a formal complaint. As a law intern for a civil rights organization, she knew how to work the system that often ignored kids like her brother. But that wasn't the end. The local paper ran a small op-ed, "Big Sister Justice." The town split. Some called it an overreaction. Others applauded her courage. And Sierra didn't care about either side. What mattered was Malik. He still played at the same park, same court. But now, when people came by, they saw something spray-painted across the bottom of the rusted backboard in bold red letters. WHANSTORMS. Unning. Some people thought it was graffiti, but Malik knew better. It was a warning and a promise.